So for the past few years, the routine at Madison Square Garden has been the same. Most nights fans would trudge in, watch something sad, and then trudge out, with the building often feeling more like an elementary school library than the world's most famous arena. Unless, of course, a high-wattage star like Steph or LeBron came along to drop 50-plus on the Knicks. And then, hey, the New York faithful would scream and shout and cheer because even some other team's greatness beat watching a 6-month staring contest between Phil Jackson and Carmelo Anthony. But last night, a funny thing happened at the Mecca. The visiting Lakers came in with all their attendant showmanship. Magic Johnson was doing his 100-watt smile thing. LeVar Ball was doing his LeVar Ball thing. But the Knicks came out and did their Knicks thing, which at least some of the time now is a whole different bag. In particular, Kristaps Porzingis was everywhere. By the end of the night, he'd become the only player in NBA history to ever notch at least 35 points, 10 rebounds, 5 blocks, and 5 three-pointers in a single game. It's a stat line that underlines all of KP's unicorny goodness, his versatility, and his singularity. And while Lonzo had actually a pretty impressive night of his own, Knicks fans finished the overtime game doing something crazy, actually cheering for their own team. And this is where things are now interesting for the franchise, because if the playoffs started today, the Knicks would not be in them. And while Porzingis is electric, to get to the next level, the team could certainly use another elite star. You know, the kind of player you get with a high draft pick. You know, the kind of high draft pick you only get if you tank. This was brought up to GM Scott Perry by reporters just the other day. But Perry, who was seen losing up close from Orlando to Sacramento, said something key. That tanking, quote, is not healthy for team culture. If you try to institutionalize losing, he said, you may never get that out of your building. Perry made it clear this season the Knicks are playing to win, even if it lands them just outside the postseason with bad lottery odds. And despite New York City being a place where, well, everyone has an opinion, his comments were almost universally well received. Knicks fans, it seems, have had their fill of a very quiet Madison Square Garden. Maybe in a year or two there'll be more pressure to build a dynasty, but for right now, they will take nights like last night, where their team is finally the show again. Scotty, you've been in that building when it has been crazy many times.
Yes.
Noted Knicks rivals. What's in the copy
Great place
here?
to play. Yeah.
Is it too soon to buy stock in this year's version of the Knicks?
Well, I think it's a little premature right now, but I do see a lot more upside in the Knicks compared to where they were a year or 2 years ago. I like where Porzingis is going as a player. You're going to continue to see inconsistency in this team. I think Porzingis, being just a third-year player, not quite at that all-star level that he should be at by the end of this season, but the Knicks is a team now that they've realized who their leader is, and they're going to him, and he's playing like a leader. So they have to get better on the road, and that will turn for them. But when you're a young team, you go through these ups and downs, and winning on the road in this league is the most difficult thing to do.
Yeah, I'm not buying the stock yet. Like you say, I agree with KP. They have something to build on and continue to build on that. I don't think they're a playoff team yet. I don't even think KP's having an MVP year, but the team's not. He's having a great year, but the team's not. Continue to build on him.
He's not having an MVP year. He's having a most improved player year, maybe.
The numbers he's putting up are MVP numbers.
Well,
if you look at his stats, that's MVP numbers on a better team.
Yeah.
And his team is not good.
So, okay, well, that is the question, though, here. They are in a conference with Philadelphia, which did the process and tanked and tanked and tanked. Even once they had the high pick, then they tanked again. They're in a conference with Boston that because of, not through tanking, but through drafts and trades, they have gotten so many high picks that they can add star after star after star.
Right.
For New York to compete in that conference for the next few years, do they need to sort of look toward the bottom again, or are you okay with them playing to win?
I'm okay with them playing to win. I never believed in tanking. Like he said, once you get that in the organization, it's hard to get out. Look at a lot of organizations that tried it that couldn't get losing out of the building. A lot of teams are losing because they tried that. You have something to build on with KP. Continue to build with that and keep a winning attitude in that organization.
And I don't think players take tanking. I think organization tried to accept it in some way. But as players, we go out, we compete in every game, and you try to win every game. And for bad teams, it looked like they're tanking, but really, those players are giving their best effort.
Everybody don't
They
compete
just
like you.
can't.
Everybody compete like you these days.
Well, and look, this is a team that can build through free agency. You've got smaller market teams who have said they've had trouble with that, but here's a team that's got a great market to offer, great building, as we say,
Yes.
to offer. And now with Kristaps Porzingis playing as well, who wouldn't want to come play with him?
Right.
So you can build that way too. That's an advantage that they have.